Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we're having a look at yet another wonderful mod, this time in the form of settlement management software, which is being made by user MattZeman666, and what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is, well, management software for your settlements. And oh my god, I love this mod. It's basically what it does is it gives you far more information about your settlements than the base game does, and also gives you a centralized method of controlling and getting information about all of your individual settlers. And I love that because, well, Fallout 4, even though it does give us this lovely settlement system, it wasn't exactly great at giving us control or info. Now, if we're in workshop mode, we have some basic information about our settlement up at the top, where we have our number of people, water, beds, happiness, etc. It's just the bare bones information about the settlement, but it seems to work well enough most of the time. But the problem is there are more stats that we are potentially interested in. Now, beyond that, your only control of settlers is by actually going to them, seeing if they're assigned or not and what they're assigned to, and then doing that for each individual settler. And that just takes time and is, well, frankly kind of annoying. I have far better things that I would like to be doing rather than running around to all 17 of my settlers here in Sanctuary and figuring out what in the crap they're up to. But thanks to this mod, we don't have to worry about that stuff. Instead, what it does is it gives us a lovely new holotape in our inventory, which we can take to any terminal in that particular settlement, including this old ledger terminal here left over from the pre-war days, and go to load holotape. Now, once there, you just need to find the settlement management holotape and load that into the computer, and this will give you so much more information and control that it will basically change how you look and work with settlements, and I love it. Now, as you can see here, it does have our location as Sanctuary Hills, so I should stress off the bat that you can only manage the settlement that you're currently in. So if you want to manage a settlement, you have to be at it and use a terminal that is there at that settlement. We cannot remotely control other settlements. Perhaps it'll come in the future, who knows, but for the time being, if I want to, say, manage the castle, I have to go to the castle, make sure there's a terminal there, and then load the holotape onto that terminal to manage them. But since we're at Sanctuary Hills, that is all we can do. And once we do have the holotape loaded up, you can see here that we have a lovely little selection of options. Let's just start up at the top and work our way down. So the first is View Statistics. Now, this is effectively going to give you mostly the same information as if you were in the workshop mode. As you can see here, we have our happiness, our people count, our foot count. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be food, but hey, typos. We then have our water, power, defense, and beds, and here is the first number that really starts telling you a bit more than what the base game does. Now, you can build beds pretty much anywhere you want in your settlement, even outside in the middle of the road, but settlers prefer beds that are sheltered, ones that have a roof and walls around them, because, I mean, come on, who wouldn't prefer that? And so you have both of these numbers. It'll give you the total count of beds, as well as the total count of beds that are actually in a proper shelter, which is great because the higher this number is, and hopefully should match this number, the better your overall happiness of your settlement is going to be, which is wonderful. Now, the next bit of information that we have added in that's not really talked about in the workshop is the happiness target, and that's where we could potentially be if things were all going well, which this number here and the happiness should basically match. I mean, as you can see here, I have a slight decimal, a little bit higher than my happiness, so I guess technically I could be a little bit happier in my Sanctuary Hills, but for whatever reason, they're not quite as happy as they could be. So this is just a good little target here. This is what you really should be aiming for, and that number there is what you actually have. So for instance, if we only had 14 sheltered beds, this happiness would be lower, and we could see that, oh, well, I could be up to 81, but I'm only showing at currently 70, so I need to do something to make my people happier. So it's a bit of information. It tells you what your happiness could be at maximum. Now the next is the damage to the settlement. Now this is useful if you've been attacked, and any of your turrets, if they were destroyed, that would show up as damage here. So the higher the number, the more basically work you need to put into repairing your settlement to prepare for the next attack, which will also, of course, affect happiness. Now the next number is days since attack, and as you can see here, it's been 18 in-game days since the last attack on Sanctuary Hills. Again, another good number, and if this was showing 0 right now, I'd be very, very worried and wondering, maybe I shouldn't be on this computer right now, but we're good to go because it's been quite a while. Now, if we go back to the main menu, we can move down to Manage Settlers, which is where, oh boy, we really start to get into the complexity of this mod, and this, again, will give you the total number of settlers that you have. It will show you, as you can see here, how many I have that are unassigned. It will also show how many robots I have in this particular settlement, 0, and also how many Brahmin are here. And this is all very good information, because again, we know from the workshop that I have 17, but nowhere in the base game of Fallout does it tell me how many I have who are unassigned, and that's part of that pain in the butt system of having to run around to everyone to figure out who's who and what they're doing. And plus, it's always good to know how many robots you have, and I guess Brahmin is a thing. That's always good. Now, here's the fun parts here. In the menu for Settler Management, we have a list of all of our settlers, which we'll go to in a moment, but we also have Mark Unassigned Settlers. And what this will do is it will mark all 4 of those unassigned settlers with a little map marker, so I can immediately go and find them. I can just leave this terminal, go find that person, and say, hey, you, go do this, which is very useful. But what's even more useful is list all settlers. This will actually give me all of my settlers and what they're doing. For instance, Sturgis, the lazy bum, is currently unassigned, so I can actually click him and it will give me more information about him. So it'll show me right now that he is unassigned. He is not commandable, he is not movable, because of course he's an NPC locked to here. He cannot be sent on a caravan. And so what we can do is either mark him, so again, we can mark him on the map so we can go and find that specific settler, or we could actually try auto-assigning him. And what this will do, will try and find an open job in your settlement. Now, actually, right now, the reason I have so many unassigned here is because I haven't built enough things for them to do. But say, for instance, if I had a scavenger's workbench built that didn't have someone on it, it was unassigned, I could hit auto-assign, and it would put Sturgis on that open scavenging bench. And that... oh my god, that is wonderful. Now right now, if I click this, it would do nothing because I have no jobs for him to do, but that is what you could do, and I just love that. Or of course, again, if you want to assign him to a specific task yourself, you can mark the settler, he'll have a little icon over his head, and you just follow your map and go right to him, and it's good times. Now, of course, with the full list, oh boy, we went all the way out. Now, as you can see, we have all of the people in the whole place, what they're doing, and we have the next button so you can go through multiple pages of everyone that's in your whole settlement, and it's just so darn useful. I love this list. It makes your life so much easier because you can find exactly who you want and then go and mark them on the map, auto-assign them, what have you. It's wonderful. I absolutely love this whole system of menus. It's very cool. Now that is it for settler management. Let's then go to the third option, which is tasks. And if we go into here, we're going to have 3 things. Now the first is refresh workshop data. Now this is the bug that is with this current mod. Sometimes not all of the information that's shown in the previous 2 menus we've been looking at is accurate. Sometimes it'll be a bit off, which you guys know is actually more of a Fallout problem in my opinion, because how many times have you looked at your map and the game itself told you that a settlement had fewer people in it than you know that it has? So sometimes this mod has that same problem. It may not know about everyone in your settlement or what they're doing. And if you're noticing that, you can hit this refresh workshop data and it will immediately look at everyone in this settlement and get all the accurate data that you need, which is useful. Now the next is another map marker here, which is mark all provisioners, which is actually, I think, quite a useful thing. I've always wished I had the ability to go out and find my provisioners out in the field, and well, now I can add a map marker to them, so I can then go to their location, find them, and maybe reassign them to something else. Always useful. Now the next option I actually think is a little bit cheaty. It's mark the attack spawn points. So if we did this, let's actually do that now. There we go. We have settlement management software. It starts a mission. That's how all the mark things work. And it shows the different map markers of where enemies will spawn. Oop. Which, it's actually not working right now. It's just showing my, oh no, because I need to actually click it. There we go, I still have this selected. Excellent, so those are the possible locations where the enemies could spawn to attack my settlement. And the reason I think it's a little bit cheaty, oh, of course, the third spawn there, is because, well, then you just go and build defenses right by that and that alone, and you're good. So I kind of find it a little bit weird, but it is an option. So if you would like to maximize your defensive capabilities, you can take a look at the map and find exactly where people are going to be attacking from and adjust your defenses accordingly. It's quite a nice thing, quite interesting. Oh boy, I'm having my fun FPS issue again because it auto-saved. Oh well, we're in a computer, it doesn't matter too much. Let's load back up our holotape and take a look at the final thing that we have going on this. If we load that back up, lovely. There we go. Now we have in the final menu is settings. Now normally I go to settings first of all to check out any fun things we could do with that, but in this particular mod, there's only one setting, and that's cheats. And the cheats is going to give you basically two options in the game. If we turn it on, the first is that it will show you on your settler list who's a synth, which for me isn't important because, of course, I've sided with the Institute, so if I go to show any managed settlers, I actually don't have any synths in my settlement right now, but the other option that you can have in here, once the cheats are on, is you can trigger an attack. It's highly experimental, as you can see here, so it may not go well, but if you so desired, you could trigger an attack on your settlement. And yes, that's a thing. So with cheats, you can make an attack happen if you would like to, say, test your defenses, or in the settler list, you'll see who are and are not synths. So that is an interesting little thing. Again, personally, I think that the spawn point should probably be on the cheat list as well. Let's actually go ahead and unmark that. But what are you gonna do? The cheats are considered the attack and the location of synths within your settlement. But hey, I can live with that. And yeah, that is the settlement management software mod. I absolutely love this mod. It just gives you so much more control than the base game offers you. And in my mind, it's indispensable as a mod. It's going to make it into my required mod list for playing this game, because it just makes your life so much easier with managing your individual settlements. So if you would like to go and check out this mod for yourself, you can go and take a link at the description as always, and definitely give this a download, have a go at it, and enjoy the simplicity and ease of use that managing your settlements will now be with it. But yes, that is going to be it for this episode, folks. I hope you all have enjoyed, and of course that you come back for the next. But until then, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.